Hey everyone, this video has some footage of sculptures and fountains from my last few days in Bern. The city is famous for all the fountains in its old town, so I decided to walk around and film a few of them to share with you. Here we are near the Kornhaus Bridge in Ring Park. This is a statue of Rudolf von Erlach, who was a commander of the Swiss Confederation's forces in the 14th century. I didn't learn anything about him on this trip to Bern, but I have a bad habit of taking countless photos of sculptures in various cities and never researching the figures they commemorate, so this time I decided to search online. I found out about him because luckily he was on horseback, and I found an interesting site that catalogs equestrian statues around the world. Here's the link to the site, and I'll also add it below. Also, horses or no horses, there are several sculptures and water fountains in Bern that include bears. This one was no exception. Continuing on our fountain tour just up the road a few hundred feet, this one is a bit creepy. The top of this fountain has an ogre that is eating children. Likely this one was created to make sure children behave. Sort of like Krampus one country over in Austria, but this fountain remains visible year-round, not just at Christmas time. And here's a picture of me taking this video. Okay, here we are on Bärenplatz. We're not too far from the Bern Art Museum, it's just to the left of us. Up ahead is a sculpture that I wasn't expecting. I read about this one and learned it was created by Merit Oppenheim. She was an artist based in Switzerland whose focus was on surrealism. I was told that in the winter it's appreciated a bit more because you'll see ice and icicles hanging down its sides. I went back the next day when it was a bit sunnier to film another shot. I figured if I couldn't see ice, maybe I could capture a bit of the greenery growing on this from the sunshine. Also, as I go through this video, if you have any additional information about what I'm showing, please add to the comments below. I'm only giving a high-level summary of some of the fountains, basically because that's all I know about them. What I learned was from asking random people in the city or doing a Google search online. Okay, we're still in Bärenplatz and we're back to the more traditional style of fountains. I didn't read much about this one. Honestly, I was walking and filming the pigeons and they headed up to it. But now's a good time to point out that if you didn't already know this, you can fill up your water bottles from these fountains throughout the city. All the water from these fountains is drinkable. If you don't believe me, go to Bern.com. They have a nice section of the site that details some of the fountains. Here is where I learned that there are over 100 public fountains in the old city. Quick aside here, we ate lunch at Leichberg and had really good service, really good food, and it wasn't too expensive. So keep this place in mind when you visit the city. I had a good wheat beer from Bavaria. I really only ever look at the beer list, but this restaurant has a nice selection of wine too, if that's your thing. We're on Kramgasse now, which is a main street in the old town. So this is the Zeringen fountain. It's a bear wearing a helmet, and the bear also has a cub at its feet. This fountain and sculpture is sort of a nod to the head to the Zeringen people who founded the city in the 12th century. You'll also notice water between these fountains that runs down the center of the street toward the Ahr River. I have some interesting footage of these basins when we get a bit closer down the hill. Walking farther down Kramgasse, we are now at the Samson Fountain. Here Samson is prying open the mouth of a lion. Per Bern.com, he has a butcher's tool on his belt, so they believe that this fountain was a gift from the Butchers Guild in town. According to the website, some of these fountains were constructed in the 16th century. I'm sure they've been maintained and repaired over and over, but you'd never guess they dated back this far. Final culinary side note, we went to the Old City Irish pub to watch the Brentford match a couple days earlier on Saturday night. It's a lively atmosphere on the top floor as well as in their basement area. They serve Murphy's Irish Stout, and that's what I decided to have. In fact, I had a few of them. And Brentford won 2-0. So here we are just about at the end of Kramgasse near the Nidegg Bridge and Church. This is where I wanted to show you something clever about the water that runs down Kramgasse toward the river. As you can see, the water is flowing smoothly, and I'm just following along with it. keeps going down toward the river, down some more, and wait, here it flows backwards. Let's take a closer look. The city put in a pump and a hidden detour so it looks like it's flowing down, then back up and down again. My guess is most people don't even notice this when walking by, so when you're in Bern, take a look. And here's a sculpture of Berthold V. I'll wrap up this video here as it ties back to the bear fountain that was erected to the Zeringen people. Berthold V, who was the Duke of Zeringen in the late 12th century, is often credited as the founder of Bern. And what do you know? Another bear incorporated into the sculpture. So as I mentioned, there are 100 or so fountains in the old city of Bern and several more sculptures and motifs on the buildings. I'll stop talking now, but we'll also add a few more shots of various public art in the city that I thought was worth capturing. Thanks for watching, everyone, and please subscribe as I'll be adding additional videos from Switzerland shortly.